Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Okay, I will just wait for a few more people to join us and then we will start. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. How are you feeling? Hi, Dinola. Hello, thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay. Invite your friends, send the video to all your followers, let them know that we're live and we're going to have another insightful conversation today. So I'll wait until you invite your friends, invite your loved ones, put it on your status, tell your friends that we are live. Yes. So tell me, where are you joining from? What part of the world are you joining from? Hi, Toya C. I'm so glad to have you here. What part of the world are you joining from? Tell me where you're joining from today. Yay. Tell me. Hi, Damilola. Hi, Joy. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another series in the Good Man But series. Today is episode 2. And I'm so excited to have you here. Please, yes, we are live. Let your friends know. Put it on your status. Send it to all your friends. Let's have a conversation. I'll be reading all my chats today. Lagos, Nigeria. Yay! We are global today. I'll be reading a lot of the comments and the chats, and I just want this room to be engaging, to be safe. I know that you can have any conversation here. Before we dive in, we did episode 1. Yay, Ontario, Canada. Hi, Toya C. Yes, Nigeria, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. I'm excited to have everyone here. So let's just go right in. Last week, no, 2 weeks ago, episode 1, we talked about the Good Man series, right? And then I defined the framework. We built the framework together. And who can remember what the framework is? Who remembers what the let's do a quick catch up and a review. Let's see if you were here. What does it mean? What does it actually mean when you say he's a good man? What does it actually mean? So we built a framework and we call the framework CLEAR. C-L-E-A-R, CLEAR. C is character, right? And what does this mean? It means that is it the same person in public as he is in private? Oh, I should even introduce myself. Hi everyone, my name is Coach Temi. I am the love architect. I do this for married, single people. If you're single and you're wondering, what do I do? How do I go about it? Yes, I am your girl. You need me in your life. I'll continue. L, loyalty. We're talking about the CLEAR framework. Just a reminder. Does it choose you consistently and protect you even when you're not there? E, emotional maturity. Can he have a hard conversation without making you the villain? And that's what we'll be focusing on today. A, alignment. Are you actually going to the same place in life? R, respect. Does it make you feel chosen? I, Debstar. I, Errands by B. Does it make you feel chosen every single day? Every day. Now, something interesting happened after episode 1. I asked people what really stood out for them, and I realized that a lot of men, they are not as in tune with what we are about to discuss today. And what we are discussing today is what I call emotional maturity. So that is E in the CLEAR framework that we built 2 weeks ago, the first episode. Okay? So tonight's episode is a good man, but he's emotionally unavailable. What does that look like? How does it look like to you, the woman? And how do we interpret this? Do we even have the right word for it? So, let's go. I'll tell you a quick story. This one is about a lady called Grace, and the man is called Emeka. Grace is 31. She's sharp, she's beautiful, she loves the Lord. She has a good career, she has everything working for her. Emeka, on the other hand, is 34. He has a stable job. He comes from a good family. You know, by every Nigerian standard, this is a good catch. She's a good person. Her mother approves, because why not, right? His mother approves also. And they've been dating for 2 years. And everyone is waiting for their wedding date. Now, Grace called her friend one night and she's crying. And the friend is wondering, what's going on? Did he cheat? Did he hit you? Did something happen? But Emeka is not irresponsible. What really happened? Then Grace says, last week I had a presentation at work and I was so nervous about it. I had been preparing for 3 weeks and I called Emeka because I was so excited. I wanted to tell him. My MD praised me and everybody said, you know what, you did an absolutely amazing job. And then he said, oh, okay, that's good. Have you eaten? Not, wow, babe, I'm so proud of you. You've really worked hard at this. Let's celebrate. Just, okay, have you eaten? Now, Grace sat with her phone and with that conversation and she felt so deflated. She felt so low. She felt so unsane. And when she was telling her friend this, she said, well, he loves you. He's a good man. It's not that bad. But she knew something was wrong. She could not really pinpoint what was wrong because by standard definition, he's a good man. By checking things off the books, he's a good man. Now, this is not the only scenario that has happened, that has played out in Emeka and Grace's relationship in the past. They've had cases in which they are both watching TV and she said, there's something that you said last week that really hurts me. And he just says, oh, it's not that deep. Why are you being so sensitive? Or there are times that she's raised something that happened at work and all he had to say, just sometimes plain ignore. And she says, are you listening to me? And Emeka said, yeah, I'm listening to you. Keep talking. I'm listening to you. When she finished, he just said, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Is that what happened? Turned off the TV and just left. Now, this is something a lot of women are experiencing in their relationship or even have experienced. And then she thinks to herself, maybe I'm too much. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I just need to lower my standards and my expectation a little bit. Maybe that's just how men generally are. Ladies, I need you to hear me today. No, you are not too much. And that is not how men are. Yes, it might be common, but it doesn't mean that's the standard. It doesn't mean that should be acceptable. It doesn't mean that that is okay, right? It is an excuse that we have been passing on from generation to generation, from father to father, and it stops here and now. What you're experiencing, or what Grace has experienced, is what I call emotional unavailability on the part of Emeka. And I found this to be very true in a lot of people that I've coached. Tonight, we are naming it, we are figuring it out, and we are deciding what to do with it. So let's talk. What does emotional availability, what does it really, really look like? So let's talk about Emeka for a little bit. Not because I'm picking on a person called Emeka, but because I found that it's a common denominator across a lot of men. He's typically a good man. What do you call a good man, right? He has a good job. He goes to church. He pays his bill. He's never had to hit Grace, nor cheat. However, there's no fluidity in their conversation. I want to show you how that looks like in real life. So tell me, I'm going to paint 5 scenarios for you, and I want you to engage with me here. 5 scenarios. With each scenario, I'll tell you scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tell me if that's a green flag or a red flag. So the comment section in the comments, you can just put red flag or green flag, and then we'll talk about it. So, the girlfriend comes on one evening. Let's call her Adaeze, right? She comes on one evening. She's had a long day and she sits next to Femi. And she says, babe, I've been really feeling overwhelmed lately. Like, I'm carrying so much load and I don't even know how to manage it all. Now, Femi is on this phone. He's scrolling. He doesn't put down his phone and he said, okay. Oh, I'm listening to you. I can hear you. And then she keeps talking. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm this. And all he says is, oh, I'm listening to you. I can hear you. She's standing there. She's talking. She's bearing her heart out. This is what is going on. And then it doesn't even pause to acknowledge her presence, acknowledge the emotions she's trying to communicate. It just continues doing what it's doing. Now tell me, this is what Adaeze does. She stops coming home to share her concerns from work. She stops sharing her excitement, her pain, and then gradually they begin to drift. You see, they do not have such conversations anymore. The conversation now is not limited to, oh, have you eaten? How was your day? Your day was fine. Okay. That is how emotional distance starts. And that has become the normal temperature of many relationships. As a matter of fact, even married marriages, they've been married for 10, 15, 20 years. They keep counting relationship anniversary and marriage anniversary. But then again, emotional distance. What would you say that is? What would you say that is? Is it a red flag? Is it a green flag? Tell me. What would we call that? Scenario 2. Hi, Olu. Welcome. Adaeze finally masters the courage to have a conversation. Imagine, she's been rehearsing this conversation in her head for 3 days. And then she says, Emeka, let's talk. There's something I need to tell you. There's something I need to tell you. Why didn't you come to my family events? Thank you. You said red flag. Thank you. Red flag. Thank you. We had agreed that you were going to come. You didn't explain yourself. You just didn't show up. I felt really disrespected. That your disappearance, it hurts me. Now, Emeka does this. He goes completely silent. His arm crossed like this. You see my arms, right? He's in the room, but he has shut the door of that conversation. She's literally talking to a wall. After 5 minutes of the conversation, he says, okay, and then walks off. Or he gets defensive. But it's not that serious. It's just a family event. If I don't come this time, will I not come next time? Why are you always doing this? Why are you always making me look like the bad person? After everything I've done for you, I'm always there for you. I pay your bills after all. What's there? Why are you complaining? You always find something to complain about. What do you think she's going to do? Now, she talked about one thing. It's gone on to rant about so many things. How did that happen? She keeps telling herself. Then she starts apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to be upset. I didn't mean for that to happen. She brought a wound so that it can be discussed and then she can heal. But she ended up being a doctor to the person that caused her the wound in the first place. That one is what I call emotional shutdown. This one is not distancing like we talked earlier. This one is shut down. This kind of man was never taught to sit in discomfort with his emotions. So it's either he goes his way or he goes south. There's no in between. You see. And then she leaves the conversation feeling worse than when she even started. Scenario 3. This one, we'll call her, let's give her a hypothetical name. We'll call her, give me a name. One. And we'll call this guy Henry. Now, she's been quiet all week, and he's been quiet, and then she says, hey, are you okay? I noticed that, you're fine. I noticed that you've been quiet. You're not really having a conversation. And then he just says, I'm fine. End of conversation. Something is obviously wrong. She can sense it. But he's not able to communicate what is wrong. Now, this is what happened. He was at work and his boss really humiliated him. He had a fight with a colleague, and then it was as if his work didn't go well. So he bottles it up. Instead of him to say, I'm struggling, he goes quiet. He becomes cold and distant. And then Wano is wondering, what did I do wrong? What happened? And then instead of them addressing the matter, she starts to walk on eggshells around him. She starts to say, I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know why he's upset. I don't know what's going on. And then she's just being quiet. You see, here is the painful irony. She thinks she is the problem. But in that moment, he actually needed her. He needed her support. But he didn't even know how to ask for it. He didn't have the right words for it. People like this, they run from hard, difficult conversation. Or Another scenario, she's asking, what's in it? What's our future looking like? What are we doing? We've been together for 2 years. But he's just talking vibes. He's just talking, let's go on vacation. They are not having proper planning as to what the next step is to their life. They are not drawing plans. You can say generic things. Oh, when you become the mother of my children. Oh, when you do this. But there's no action backing up that word. So it stays on the surface. There's no deep conversation. There's no vulnerable moment. That is the problem. And then years later, she says, I love him, but I don't know. I don't feel like it. I don't even know him. But now they are talking marriage, but there's no connection. You know, people will say to me, I don't feel connected to this person. I know I love the person, but I can't feel, I'm not even sure what's going on. Yeah. Those are red flags. And they can show up in different many ways. I don't want to keep citing so many examples. Now, let's talk about this man. Why is he the way he is? Why is a lot of men, why do they always shut down when it comes to emotional, vulnerable conversations? Why can't they express themselves without guilt-tripping the next person or making it look like, oh, it's the woman, you're asking for too much, you're just being extra, you're just being sensitive? What's the reason? Let's bring some nuance and some understanding to this. Now, in this conversation, I want you to understand that because we are explaining that the man is emotionally unavailable, it doesn't mean we are excusing the impact that unavailability has on you. We are not doing that. It can have a good reason, a valid reason, but it can still hurt you at the same time. Both things can coexist at the same time. So why does it happen? Common reason number one, a man is commonly not taught how to express their emotions. Most men in our generation, even the younger ones and the older ones, especially our African men, they were raised with a very specific message. Don't cry. Boys don't cry. Don't show weakness. Don't cry. If you cry, it's termed as weakness. Just provide and protect. That's your job. That's where the problem is. Because a lot of men has been raised to see emotional vulnerability as weakness, they were not taught to unpack how they feel and they shut down. They see emotion as weakness. They see vulnerability as being dangerous. So they learned at a very young age to just look away. Just function. Just survive. And then they grow up, they enter a relationship, they genuinely like this person. But they don't know how to be vulnerable enough to have conversations and connection that is deep. Deep beyond the physical. Nobody showed them what it looks like. Nobody taught them what that emotion, what language is supposed to have. Their fathers didn't model it. Their uncles didn't model it. And the culture is not even expecting it. It's not really broken, but it's untrained. But there's a difference. Some people are broken. Okay? Reason number two. Past wounds. Past trauma. Sometimes this emotional unavailability or immaturity is a protection mechanism. So it means some men have gone through some things that they've been deeply hurt. In the past relationship, in the way they were raised, in childhood, with someone that they've loved before, and it costed them everything. So they made a quiet, unconscious decision. Nothing would ever put them in that state to be hurt again. So that means they will never be vulnerable again. They did not have any plan to be vulnerable. So what it does is it keeps people at arm's length. You see, not because he doesn't care really, it's just because he cares too much and is terrified of being hurt. He doesn't want to let you in. This is the man that loves you, shows everything, but not in a practical way, because when it comes to the conversations, he retreats. He retreats. Now, let's talk about another reason. Some people do not genuinely see the problem. That's the problem. This one is the hardest to deal with. Unconscious incompetency. The man does not even know that he has this. So when you're raising it, he's not being malicious. He's not trying to hurt you. He just doesn't see it. He believes that, well, as a man, once I provide, once I'm faithful and I show up, that's love, and that should be enough for you. And he believes that that is the form of expression that a man should give. So when you talk about connection, he's thinking to himself, but I've paid your bills, but I'm here. What else do you need from me? He's genuinely confused. He's not trying to withhold anything. He's giving you everything. See, that's everything he has to give. He's not willing to learn. He's not willing to be better. He just believes that this is the way I am. Just take me like it is. So now, I know you have this question in your mind and it is sitting heavy on your chest. You're asking me, Coach Temi, can it change? I know everything you have described, I am experiencing. I'm in this marriage, I'm in this relationship. This man is, I'm not even feeling his pulse. Can it change? My honest answer to you is yes, it can change. But only if you want to. Not because you forced him, not because you've talked and talked. Only if he wants to, only if he sees that there's a problem, only if he recognizes that, okay, this is an issue and he's willing to work on it. If he knows that he's emotionally unavailable and is self-aware and willing, that is workable. That's a man that you can grow with. But a man that is not emotionally available but still dismisses your thoughts, your feelings, and refuses to acknowledge how you feel even when you get angry, and he just goes, you're too extra. That man is a project. I don't know if you're a construction worker. Do you want to keep at it? That's a pattern. If you're not married, I need to tell you, patterns do not change without an intentional intervention. It just does not change by itself. The question is not, can he change? The question is he willing to change? Is he willing to improve? Is he willing to work on himself? Is he willing to do the work of self-introspection and start reframing those mindsets that the culture has infused in him? Is he willing? So, let's talk about practical things. Because I know that you have questions in your mind right now. If you have any questions, please drop it for me in the comments. I'll be reading it. If you're in this situation, you're thinking to yourself, so what do I do? I'll give you 3 things that you can do. 1, I need you to name it. Be able to identify what's going on and put a name to it. Say it out loud. See, people have come to me and say, I felt I was crazy. I thought it was me. No, it's not you. Say it out loud to yourself, and eventually we'll get to saying it to him. Stop saying, oh, we have communication issues, we have relationship issues, we have no. Name exactly what the issue is. Say it's not very expressive. Call it as it is. I feel emotionally disconnected from you. I do not feel any connection between us. I feel like I cannot bring my full self into this relationship. I feel like my emotions are a burden to you. And that's not something I'm willing to live with long term. See, naming is not an attack. What you cannot name, you cannot tame. What you don't identify, you can't control. What you don't identify, you can't manage. So that is a clarity conversation, and it is very, very necessary. Second thing you need to do is you need to have a direct conversation. Not a hint. Not, well, you make me feel... No. Not a hint. A proper conversation where you will state, this is what has happened, this is what has made me feel, this is what I believe that we can do to go forward. This is not the time to cry and break down and be passive aggressive. I know a lot of women do passive aggressive a lot. You're like, you close the door, you slam the door, there's no food, you're giving an attitude. See, we cannot solve any issue with giving an attitude. Passive aggression is not going to get women anywhere. Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Not for today, because that one is a whole topic on its own. We'll clear it, I'll talk about it another day. So when you're having this conversation with him, you are not being passive aggressive. You are having a direct, clear conversation. You're calm. You're not all in your emotions, because I know women also fall into this trap a lot, because the matter or the issue has caused you emotional turbulence, if I use that word. All of a sudden, you're all in your emotions, you're all in your feeling, you're crying, you're willing. No. Have a clear conversation. This is what I am experiencing. And this is what I expect. This is what you've done, and this is how it affects me. Are you willing to work on this? And then, don't assume. Listen to his response. Not what he would say, what he has said, with his words and with his body language. If he gets defensive and say, you too, the other day, you did this. That one is an issue that needs to be dealt with. But if he gets quiet and thoughtful and say, oh, I hear you. I see how that has made you feel. And I don't want you to feel this way. What can I do to improve our relationship? Now we are talking. Now that's a sign of a man that is willing to improve. Not that you say one thing and then it just deflects and gets defensive. One of those responses is a green light. The other is a warning. Which response do you think would make you feel better? Tell me in the comments. Which response do you think will say, oh, okay, that makes sense? Number 3 thing that I want to talk to us about today. Please, ladies, stop making yourself feel smaller. Stop shrinking. See, if out of everything I've talked about today, this one thing you can take home with you, I need you to take it home with you. Stop apologizing for having emotional needs. That is who you are. That is who you're created to be. So beyond physical needs, mental needs, your emotional needs is very key, very viable, very important. Do not apologize because you have that need. And don't call yourself too sensitive. I'm too much. I'm too this. You were created for connection. You were created for these things, to have deep communication. That is who you are. And it's not too much to ask. And it is the very foundation of a covenant marriage. Because beyond how you know, the glam and the glitz, how you feel around someone is a major indicator of how your brain converts who that person is to you. Connection is not a flaw. The need for a connection is not a flaw. That is a very important conversation and information I want you to have today. You deserve a man who meets you, not a man that you have to drag to the table every single time. Not a man that you need to drag and prod and be afraid before you have proper conversation. People are afraid to actually have conversations because they don't know how it's going to land, and then fear lives in there, and they begin to thread carefully, and your nervous system is always shut up high around this person. That is the problem in itself. Okay, so I'm open to questions. If you have a question, put it there. Let's hear. I want to hear your thoughts. How are you feeling with everything we've talked about? Do you feel like, oh, it's okay, or do you feel like most men are not like this? We're just gonna accept what we have. We can't find any man that's actually willing to learn and grow and be better. The common thing that I've heard is, I love him and I don't want to leave. I love this person. I know he's emotional and unavailable, but I love him. See, love is real, and I honor that. I honor how you feel. I'm not discounting your feeling or your love. And I'm not telling you, oh, leave him. Because he's emotional and unavailable, leave him. No, that's not what I'm telling you. But I'm telling you that love in itself is not enough. It's not enough to build on. It's not enough to have a legacy marriage over. It's not enough. It's a foundation. It's one of the many ingredients that work. But is he willing to work on himself? Is he willing to build on that foundation? If you love him, then you tell him. Tell him how you've explained yourself to your girlfriend. I love you, but I need more from you. That's a conversation that you can have. You call him and you have a sit down and say, see, babe, I love you, but I need more from you. That's a valid reason. If he truly loves you back, like you claim that you love him, you'll be willing to do the work. He will take you seriously. he would sign up for coaching with you. He would sign up to have a couples coaching with you if he's really, really willing to do the work, not giving excuses. Love is shown when someone is willing to put in the work. That is love for me. Not just mushy conversation, but a man that is willing to put in the work. That is love. Not in your head, but you can see the actions that back up the words. Now that is love. So, another question. How do I know if he's emotionally unavailable or he's just an introvert? For some people, we get it. They are introverts, right? But it doesn't mean that they are not able to connect with you. An introvert is someone that likes to recharge by themselves. They want to be by themselves. They like to recharge alone. They are not super expressive, super jumping up and all of that. But when it counts, you can see that they are putting in the work. They are having the conversation. If something is real to them, they show up. They engage. They make you feel heard. Even if they are not shouting it, but they make you feel heard. It might be quietly, but they have the tough conversations. It might not jump up and down and be as excited. However, when you need him to show up, does he show up? So it makes you feel seen regardless of his temperament. Temperament is not an excuse to make you be strong or not to feel who you are in a relationship. No. So an introvert can be emotionally available. Absolutely, yes. They might show it differently, yes. But you will know it without any shadow of doubt. That you are loved, that you're connected, and that you are accepted for who you are. Before I let you go tonight, I don't want to spend too long. I need you to... We came here and we've talked about something that is very common, and a lot of people are too afraid to name out the fear. The loneliness of loving someone, but the person can't fully meet you, can't fully see you. Something happens to you and you want to share it, but your spouse or the person you are dating or your partner is not the first person that comes to your mind, because they won't get it. They won't get you. That is not something to be swept under the carpet. That's not something to deal with trivially and say it doesn't, well, that's just how they are. No, your person must get you. They must be the first person you want to call, whether you're excited, you're sad, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're grieving. No matter the weight of the emotion that you have, you're able to share with this person. It is very sad to be in a relationship and to still feel very lonely. This I've seen with people that are in relationship with men that are emotionally unavailable. They are in a marriage, they are in a relationship, but they feel very lonely. Because they eventually become someone they can't recognize. They say to themselves, oh, I'm too sensitive, I'm too needy, I'm asking for too much. You are simply asking for what every human being was created for. Real, deep, soul level connection. And you deserve to have it. You deserve it. Now I want you something to the woman that is sitting there thinking, well, this is my relationship and I don't know what to do next. I don't want to throw it away. I don't want you to figure this out alone. Whether you're dating or you're married, I don't want you to figure it out alone. This is exactly what I do. I sit with women one-on-one and we get underneath the pattern. Because like I explained earlier, there are different reasons why men are like that. And some women also fall into this category, but that's not what we are here to talk about. So, we get underneath the pattern. We explore why you attract what you attract. Why you stay longer than you should. How to have conversations. Because there's an how to have these conversations if you want it to yield results. And how to build the kind of love that actually lasts. I want to personally invite you to come and have that conversation with me. Go to loveoasismethod.com, loveoasismethod.com right now and book a call. The link is in my bio. Book your strategy session. It's free. Come, let's talk. Let's talk. See, you have been having this conversation in your head for long enough, and it is time to have it with someone that can actually help you move forward. I hope you've learned something today. I know that today's conversation is quite emotionally heavy, and some people might struggle with it a little bit. I know, I get it. I understand how you feel. But I want you to remember that you're worth the love. You're worth the wait. You deserve this soul connection. You deserve to be seen and fully received and accepted for who you are. Thank you for standing with me, chilling with me, staying with me today. Episode 3 is coming soon. Tell me, if you watch this video later and you have a question that you'd like me to address, send me a DM. I would gladly and graciously attend to it and, have a conversation with you. Let's even go deeper. Let's leave the surface things. Let's leave the standard. Let's shatter the table. Let's create new standards, new templates for love that we can hand over to the next generation, that we can hand over to our children, that we can talk about boldly, confidently, with pride, and we'll flourish and we'll bloom and we'll smile. Share this replay with a woman that needs it. Share with all your friends and loved ones. I love this community so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Damnola Alaga. Thank you, Osabe. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Nike. Thank you, everyone that joined. I love having these conversations, as you can see. If I'm left to continue, I'll keep going on and on and on. LoveOasisMethod.com. LoveOasisMethod.com. Or you know what? Send me a DM. Send me a DM. I'll be glad to connect with you and chat with you. If anybody has any question, I will just hang on for about 1 or 2 minutes. I'll be glad to take your questions. Today's conversation has not been one of those exciting ones or something that people want to talk about. I get it. But do we need to have it? Yes. We deserve better and we should demand it. All right. Thank you for being here. Bye. I love you. I will see you in 2 weeks for episode 3. If there's something, oh, Mr. Saba, good to see you. If there's something that you want me to discuss, or there's a conversation that you like for us to have, send me a DM. Send me your topic. I will take it. You know me. I'm bold. God has sent me to do this. Yes. Thank you. Bye.